evening, folks, or morning, or lunchtime, or hello. Today we're going to look at putting some lighting in the container workshop. It's probably the aspect of this that I've been most excited about, because I'm obviously going to run it off the 24-volt system. There's no point putting your lights through the inverter, that would just be silly. And the reason I'm so excited because there's such a fantastic array of low volt lighting available now, like all the Cree LEDs and that. You know, there's like an absolute plethora of options. Is that the right word? Would you say a plethora? I don't know. Either way, basically, I got a box of bits. You know, I quite like playing with LEDs and that. And I bought bits and bobs over the years, and probably some I won't use here, and then some I bought especially for this. Yeah, I got the light ribbons, so I'm sure you've all seen these before. Just fine. I did open one. Which one have I opened? Which one have I opened? So the light ribbons are basically LEDs that are attached to a flexible conductive ribbon, and these are the better ones. They're still really cheap here. Like the ones I got here are the better ones, so they're allegedly waterproof. So they got a rubber molded over the LEDs. Can you see the LEDs? A little LED in there. A little LED. These come in a load of different grades. They smell amazing as well. I don't know. Must be some sort of release compound for the rubber, but my days. The best smelling LEDs I've ever come across. So these are 5 metre lengths each, and each container is 6 metres or 20 foot, whatever. So these will be a nice length. I've got 4 of these. What I want to do with these is run them in the workshop side. Currently we're in the storage side with the consumer panel, the box of tricks and that. But I'll just temporarily pop one up and see what sort of light output that gives, because I suppose for the first time ever I'm looking at doing my lighting to meet the needs of myself and taking videos as well. Whereas you know, in the past I've obviously, in my last workshop, I put the lights in there before I was making videos and that, and then I sort of added bits and bobs to them. You know, spotlights in certain areas, just cheapy ones, just so there's lighting over the vice and stuff, you know. But this time, like, it'd be nice to just get a nice, even, bright light throughout the entire container, so you guys aren't always seeing shadows and that in my videos, and you know, make them a bit better than that. Okay, so I'm thinking these ribbons for next door, but as of yet, I've not fired them up yet, so I don't know the sort of how much light they're going to put out. They lift together. Then I got a stack of these a while ago, because they were really cheap. I got a job lot. These are stick-on side lights for cars. They're very cheap and nasty, but again, I just wanted to play with them. I think you can get. I got 6 of them for $5. 6 of these self-adhesive side lights, you know, and boy racers like to stick them on underneath their headlamps, so it looks like they're driving a Lamborghini or something, you know. Again, I haven't fired these up. Very interested to see what happens. I'm thinking currently, because of the number I've got, I don't need quite so much lighting in this storeroom, so we'll probably put those in here. Then these I got from my dad's camper van. That's been sold now, by the way. The old man can't drive it anymore. He's beyond it, unfortunately. So we sold the camper van. But either way, I've got a load of these bits that I bought for him to put on the inside of the camper van, but that never got done. These are basically M8 bolts, but they've got an LED in them. Pretty cool. Don't know if they'll be used or not, but it'll be easy enough to plumb them in if I need a bit of extra light in one area or another. Then I've got a load of good 2-cord cable if I want to put stuff outside. And what I was going to do a while ago is put a series of these little 10-watt lights around the outside of my workshop, like the old workshop. These things, but like an idiot, I see a bulk buy discount on eBay, got really excited, bought them, and they ended up being 12-24 volt. Yeah, so unless I've got a transformer to run them outside my other workshop, then I wouldn't have been able to use them. But they're perfect either for in here or outside. I do want to put outside lighting here, so I can have the forge outside and actually have the forge in a well lit area. Again, to make, you know, so I can forge at night. And if I have the forge over here by the containers, it moves it away from the house, which is a bonus because it reduces the risk of me waking the kids up when I'm forging late at night. And sometimes my mate comes round and we muck around with the forge with a few beers until the wee hours of the morning. So, you know, it would be nice to have it away from the house, wouldn't it? Yeah, I've got junction boxes for the outside lights. You can tell how long I've had these because the bags are all crusty, aren't they? Nice waterproof junction boxes, and these should screw straight into the container if I put a bit of sealant in between them and just use a self driller to go straight through these into the container, and it'll just make putting these lights up really quick and easy. So I'm quite liking the idea of doing that at the same time. I got this quite a few years ago as well. What I wanted to do is make a like the ultimate work torch, because I got in the habit of using head torches for my work, and they didn't have the capacity that I needed. If I was working underneath an instrument panel all day, then I had two basically, one that had AA batteries and the other one that had the lithium-ion batteries. And it needed a charge in between. But what I was going to do was, make a sort of old-fashioned style work lamp with this. This is, I don't know, it's like a 20-watt Cree LED in there, so it's quite bright. But also I got these number plate LEDs, and the idea was that these would act as feet, so the whole thing would sit down, because quite often if you're working on your back on something and stuff's in front of you, then you put your tools where you can reach them, and maybe where you can glance at them, but unless you've got floodlights where you're working, which nearly always blind you when you look for your tools, you can't see your tools so well. So I was gonna, these LEDs on the feet, I was basically going to make what for me personally, was going to be the ultimate work light. So it'd illuminate the area where it sat with quite low intensity light, but then I could also point this where I wanted it. But I never got around to that. So there's these bits as well, which I could use in here. Don't know if I'd use a number plate bulb, but it might be quite nice to put a couple of very small bulbs by the switch panel. Maybe just even one, so it's constantly on. So if I come in here at night time, I can see the switch panel, which would be cool, I think. And also maybe one outside. These are such low consumption, not this big one. These little number plate bulbs, that really I could afford to have. I could afford to have a couple of them on continuously, and it wouldn't really matter. I don't think it's going to make a dent in 880 amp hours of battery storage. But if it does, I can always dismantle them. But might do something with them. I found in the bottom of my box of light bulbs. I thought I'd lost this ages ago. Just the batteries are still good in it as well. I really like this torch. This is a handy little torch to keep in your overall pocket. Very nice. I'm happy about that. And I've just found another little bag full of these sort of bulkhead light bulbs. No idea if these are the same sort of power output as the other set I have. I don't remember buying these, so it's probably a long time ago, so they might be, they're a slightly different design. Yeah, no idea what the outputs on these are. So yeah, we'll fire these up and see. I'm gonna switch the lights off and we'll run through these. We'll power all the bulbs up, see the sort of output, and then I can have a think about where they're going to go. Whoa! Jesus. That's the thing with a lot of LED. They're so focused. It's sometimes quite a bad thing. You know, there's no spread of light. This is bloody bright. This is, Jesus. I wish I hadn't looked at that. I really wish I hadn't looked at that. It's going to be a few minutes till my eyesight's back to normal. Hey, this is the daytime running light. The self-adhesive side lights for your boy races and that. Yeah, I like this. This is a lot brighter than I was expecting. Let's turn the light off and see what it does. It's bright. It's not that bright though, is it? What do you reckon, guys? Okay, that's one of the bulk type bulbs I've got plugged in there at the minute. Yeah, why do I keep looking at these things? I can't help myself. I just have to look at them. That's nowhere near the output of that strip light, of the fog lamp, the stick-on light. Still quite impressive. Very nice little bulbs these. That's the black one. I'll just try the silver one as well. Okay, that's the silver one plugged in now. Yeah. Exactly the same sort of output, I reckon. Same sort of brightness. Same sort of brightness. Good to know. Okay, so this is one of the little 10 watt head flood lamps. Ah, that's a yellow light. So I expect I chose that myself for some reason. But, you see that? What am I best illuminating? Yeah, you can have a look at the side of the batteries. It does say it's okay on 12 or 24 volts. I'm just going to try and see if I can. Yeah, perhaps that was a bad idea. There's definitely a bad idea around batteries, isn't it? You don't want to be blind whilst you. There we go. And then, yeah, that's the same. Seems to be just as bright on 12 or 24 volts. 12 volts, 24 volts. Yep, no difference. So that's handy to know, because it means I can use these on their own or in parallel, and it won't matter. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, this is the ribbon light. I'm just unwinding. 5 meters of ribbon light. Not sure how I'm going to do this. It's got connections at both ends, so I'm just going to have to unwind it and insulate the end that I'm not using. Do I have to? Yeah, no, yeah. I think it's got connectors both ends, so you can you know, hook another ribbon onto the end of this ribbon, which is cool. Who could possibly need 10 metres of light ribbon? I don't know, I'm sure there's people out there. I don't think I need to insulate them. I'm going to regret not insulating them, but whatever. That should be alright, just draped over there. Oh, no, they don't want to touch. Yeah, I should probably be careful about this actually. Hold up a minute, I'm gonna try and be a little bit more careful. Okay, this is 5 metres of LED light ribbon, and this stuff is definitely 12 volt. What are we on here? Yeah, that all looks reasonable. Babble. Hey. Oh, that's nice. It's like Christmas time, isn't it? Let's turn the lights off, see what happens. Oh, it's so pretty. This is so pretty. Now, yeah, it doesn't feel like 4 of them are going to be enough to illuminate a whole container. I don't think so. I don't think so. But what? It is incredibly cool stuff. Really cool. Let me just pick you up so you can see what I see. Yeah, light isn't an easy thing to show on a camera, is it? It has illuminated this end of the container quite nicely. I've got no other lights on in here. Pretty cool. Yeah, that's a corner of it, I suppose. I don't know, it's very hard to judge. Very hard to judge. Very, very hard to judge. Thing is, these are brand new, and LEDs I find with time they always kind of get a tiny bit dimmer. Right, not badly. You know, they last for a very long time, don't they? But they just seem to lose their pizzazz. You know, like I don't think it's my imagination. I'm pretty sure they do age and get a touch dimmer. So if it's not as bright as possible now, then a year down the line, I'm going to be struggling for light again, aren't I? So what I could do with this, I got this stuff quite recently. If I put it up and used it for a bit and found that I then didn't have enough light, it's going to be very easy to put more up, isn't it? So, you know, I can just run another strip of it in between. Yeah. Okay, so I put all the little self-adhesive fog lights on, and they're really nice actually. There's a nice level of light in here. I don't need it too bright in here because this is only ever going to be a storeroom. Just got bits and pieces lying around here at the minute. I haven't straightened it out properly. I've still got empty shelving and lots of stuff on the floor. And obviously I've just made a huge mess down here, just doing wiring and stuff. There we go. Oh dear, too bright, too bright. Showing off all the muck on the camera lens. Actually, should probably give that a clean. Okay, so I'm just going to run the ribbons next door now. So I've got a couple of these LED ribbons up, as you can see. I'm having a little bit of difficulty. It's one of these Chinese products. They've obviously got someone involved and, you know, made the packaging look nice and European. The writing on the back isn't quite so good. That puzzles me why they don't put as much effort into the grammar as the packaging. But hey, it's always fun. And then when we look inside, they've done the same with the adhesive strip on the back. It's just M. There's no 3 there. It still smells amazing. You know. But the problem is, it doesn't actually fucking stick to anything. The only thing I can get this to stick to is the gaffer tape, and it kind of feels like once it's stuck to the gaffer tape, it's a permanent adhesion. But so I've had to run gaffer tape along the roof first, and then stick this to the gaffer tape, which is kind of turning into a bit of a bodge now. I'm gonna put the other two up and try and think of a better way to make this permanent, but this will have to do for now. I walked away from these lights yesterday because I was starting to get a bit frustrated with how it was going. I've come back in the morning, and yeah, I've just kind of realised that it's so incredibly shit. I can't leave it like this. So what I'm going to do is pull it all down, and I'm going to have to put a false ceiling in. I think there's just no nice way of fixing to this ceiling, because the roof's bent anyway. Like, the original container had a slight bow in the roof, yeah, which is meant to be there, and then this one has picked up quite a few fairly significant dents. On top of that, the adhesive on the the adhesive on the light's no good, and I think it's the nicest thing to do all around is put a false ceiling in here, and then I can run stuff behind it. I'll have everything out of the way, because the thing is, I'm going to make a lot of dust in here, and I really want nice flat surfaces, and not have to hoover dust out of bunches of wire and stuff. So I think just and it'll give me a bit of insulation as well, won't it? I think I'm not going to put any glass up there or anything, because that'll get damp. But an air gap will be a good way of keeping this space a little bit nicer. So bear with me, folks. So the fog light LEDs in the storeroom have all failed now. I left them on for quite a long time. Apart those two haven't failed. They've not failed completely. I don't know, they're just really cheap and shit, and I should have known better. Which doesn't bode well for the strip lights. The strip lights are also done. Check this out. These are pretty cool. Massive ball lake, and they still don't look great. I've got to tidy this wiring up. But yeah, it's so bloody lovely and light in here. there aren't any shadows anywhere, which is exactly what I need, you know. I've been living in the shadows for so long. I've got to cut that bar off, you know, keep forgetting about that. Yeah, absolute pucker. Well chuffed with the level of light in here. This is definitely sufficient, and it's not pulling any real load, you know, so I can leave these on and not worry too much about the consumption. But the adhesive on these was just terrible. So I boarded the roof. This is hardboard on the roof, ceiling rather. I used the hardboard because it's cheaper than the ply, but as soon as I started using it I regretted not getting the ply. But you know, it's like half the cost of the oh god, I've got to put some more pins in there. Bastard, you just can't win unless you spend loads of money, but you know, can't always do that, can you? So this is cool. What am I going to do next door? I'm going to put the exterior lights up next door, I think, because these ones were just a waste of time. I'm a bit pissed off about that, but those little 10-watt flood lamps that I had, I'm just going to throw some of them up. I'm going to use the existing wiring. They're 1224 volt anyway, so I might just put one up where I had 2 of these fog lights. Okay, I've got my wires tidied up now. This should have been a really quick, easy job, but it got a bit tedious actually with having to put this false ceiling in. I tidied up these wires and all. I haven't made good all the wiring yet because I've got to run, you know, the power from consumables is going to come down that wall, so I can plug equipment in and run that. Out here, the LED fog lights burnt out. Like, they didn't last a day, so I mean, maybe they're alright on a car or something if you just got them switched on for 20 minutes or something, I don't know, or they get a bit of cooling from the airflow. But they shouldn't have burnt out. I don't see why they did that. I had another problem with the electrics here. I have a volt over on the controller. Let's see if we can just get a picture of this. See, you can tell I've got the solar panels disconnected at the minute because it thinks it's light. Thinks it's night. That's where it wants to be for charging. That is supposed to be cut out for anything you're taking out of this controller, and then V over, that refers to the output, that's not the input, so this will actually overcharge the batteries. Fortunately, I mean, it happens because I had the panels in there, and these overvolts, over undervolts voltage control modules cut out the lighting, which is how I knew what was going on when I looked up here, and it was at like 32 volts, and the batteries were boiling. I could hear them, and not badly, but they were starting to stink as well, which is really bad because, you know, that's the most expensive component of the batteries, are the most, you know, expensive bit of this whole system. So it hasn't overvolted with the turbine, but you know, even moderate sunlight, the batteries being fully charged as they were, it just went up to 32 volts, and I really do not understand why. So what I'm inclined to do at this point is get a third voltage module and another big solenoid, mount them down here, and have the solar run through those voltage modules. So if the batteries are quite depleted, you know, even if the solar panels are making full current, it will pull the voltage down of the panels, and then once the batteries top up, the voltage sensor will pick up the buzz voltage and hopefully cut the panels out and leave them open circuit. It's not a problem with the solar panels just leaving them open circuit, whereas the turbine needs a braking current there, hence the big dump resistor. A few of you commented, like, you know, why I'm intending on putting a heater running off that dump load. Like, I think if I could heat you know, a tower rail or something that was full of oil, that has a bit of thermal mass, as opposed to this big resistor, it will maintain the heat longer. You know, all I'm after doing is sort of stabilising the heat in here, not you know, producing the most heat possible or whatever. This resistor is obviously designed to dump the heat as quickly as possible and just get it out of the, you know, dump the power basically. But my intention is to have a heated towel well, I suppose, that uses the dump load. But hey, that's all in the future. For the time being, I just need to get the solar sorted out, don't I? Bit annoying, bit worried about it, you know, doing some damage to the batteries, but I'm glad it didn't ruin the lights. But you know, I mean, I would have rather it took its toll on the lights, because you know, than the batteries, because the lights are obviously very cheap LEDs, where this is like a few £100 worth of battery. But hey, this didn't even come with an instruction manual, you know. I might try and find one online. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm not going to do the exterior lighting at the minute either, because I want to put something hard down outside before I get on with that. At the minute, I would just be illuminating a scrap heap, so I'll get that sorted out and then do some exterior lighting. Then move the forge up here, and you know, industry lads, let's make some smog and stuff, eh? All right, cheers. Take it easy, folks. Bye bye.